When you hear the word daycare, what's the first image that pops into your head? I bet for a lot of us, it's just a place where kids are, well, watched. But what if there's a totally different way to think about it? Today, let's explore this alternative, a model that sees itself not just as a service, but as a real partnership. Okay, so here's the plan. First, we're going to question the whole idea of daycare. Then, we'll see what this partnership model is all about and put it right up against the traditional way of doing things. We'll also look at how it mixes that homey feeling with some serious professional know-how. And finally, we'll wrap up by seeing how this all grows into something bigger, a real village for the whole family. All right, for a lot, it turns out. No, really, think about it for a sec. When you hear that word, daycare, what does it imply to you? What's its main job? For most people, the answer is pretty straightforward. Yeah, the common definition is basically this. It's a place where kids are looked after while their parents are at work. Simple, right? It's a service. But the philosophy we're digging into today, it starts by challenging that very idea. And boom, right here, this is the core difference. The whole argument is that it's not about watching children, it's about engaging with them. This quote sets up a totally different mission, one that's about guiding, nurturing, and actively teaching, not just supervising. So, how does that one idea blossom into a whole new philosophy? Well, it's all about shifting from being just a service you hire to being a real partner in the whole parenting journey. And this is a really big piece of the puzzle. The idea isn't to replace home life, but to be an extension of it. The goal is to echo the same values, the same love, the same feeling that a child gets at home with their family. Okay, so what does that actually look like day to day? It means the focus isn't just on keeping kids busy. It's on what's called meaningful learning. It's all about building genuine independence and confidence in kids, making sure everything lines up with the family's own values, and really, just protecting that special time of childhood. All right, this leads us to the main event, a direct comparison. Since this partnership model is based on Montessori principles, let's put it side by side with a traditional daycare and see exactly where they differ. When you boil it all down, the biggest difference is intention. Daycare provides care, and that's absolutely essential, no question. But this Montessori partnership, it aims to build purpose, and that's a huge shift. It's the difference between meeting a basic need and working toward a deeper mission. And you can really see how that plays out in the everyday experience for a child. In a traditional daycare, you often have kids waiting for the next group activity on a one-size-fits-all schedule. But in the Montessori partnership, kids are engaged in what's called meaningful work, and the schedule actually follows the child's own natural rhythm. It really is the difference between being one kid in a crowd and being a child who is deeply, truly known. So you might be asking, how is that even possible? How can you deeply know each child? Well, it really comes down to this number. Just 5 students per teacher. And that's not just some random stat. It's a fundamental commitment. It's the only way you can deliver that kind of personal attention that this whole model is built on. Okay, so this all sounds very warm, very homey, right? But you might be wondering, where's the structured education in all this? That's exactly what we're getting into now. How this model brings together that cozy, home-like feeling with a really deliberate professional approach to learning. So yeah, the environment feels like a peaceful, familiar home. But here's the thing, none of it is by accident. Every little detail, every object, every space is purposefully designed by a trained educator to spark learning and discovery. Let me give you a really clear example. You see a child pouring water, it looks like play, right? But it's actually a lesson in coordination and focus. Or maybe they're sweeping up some crumbs. That's not a chore, it's a hands-on way to practice responsibility. See? Every single task has this hidden curriculum built right in, all designed to build character and skills. And the person guiding all of this, they're bringing some serious expertise to the table. We're not just talking about someone who's good with kids. We're talking about someone with a master's degree in education, over a decade of specialized trauma-informed training, and more than 25 years of hands-on experience. That's a deep professional foundation. All right, for our last section, let's zoom out a bit. Because this partnership model argues that it's not just about one child's education, it's about building a whole community of support around the entire family. And this quote, this just says it all, doesn't it? It hits on something so true. Parenting is tough, and you are never meant to do it all by yourself. You need a village. So what exactly is this parenting village? Well, it's a community that's built on shared values and a deep sense of trust. It's a place where your child is truly known, seen, and cherished, not just another face in the crowd. And it's a place where the lines of communication with you, the parent, are always open. And this support isn't just some vague idea. It's built into the structure in very practical ways. For example, flexible schedules, because let's be real, life is complicated. And think about this, being closed on Fridays, that's not just a long weekend. It's a deliberate choice to carve out and protect that precious, dedicated family time. So that brings us right back to where we started, with a final question for you. After looking at this whole partnership model, we're left with this to think about. What is the real goal here? Is the goal just to provide care? Or is it something more, like a calling to help shape and nurture a developing human being? Definitely something to think about.